And what I'm trying to see more and more now was that what I was hearing for me when you were talking about thinking 2 steps ahead with the food, for example, is just because you feel like doing something, it doesn't mean you have to act on that feeling and do it, right? And this is now what thinking 2 steps ahead is. And this reminds me of a quote from a book by Viktor Frankl. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called The Man's Search for Meaning. It was the first book I read this year in January that was gifted to me by a dear friend. And this introduced me to this whole love of book gifting, which I love. But besides the book gifting and this book, Viktor Frankl was a man who was in the Holocaust. And, like we can say, in the most dire of inhumane situations. And he still found a way to find meaning to his life, and saying that the greatest power lied in his freedom to choose his response, to choose how he wanted to react to things. No, despite the atrocities and whatever, all the crazy shit that they were doing to him and his family, he still said that between a stimulus and between a response, there lies a space. And in that space lies our response, and in our response lies our freedom and growth. And I'm probably like butchering the quote a little bit, but that's the gist of it. And for me, that's what I hear when you're saying, think 2 steps ahead. Just because you feel it, you don't have to act on it.
Yeah. It's actually funny. I learned this lesson from my manager at one of the companies I used to work out, where I was in exactly the same position as you. I was having some problems with some coworkers.
Okay.
I was having some problems with this work environment that I was new to, and I was reacting poorly to a lot of things. And he said something that I never thought would stick with me as much as it has, but you can only control to how you react to the uncontrollable. That is the only thing you can control, right? The only thing you can control is how you react to the uncontrollable.
It's a beautiful quote.
You have no other choice. So to your point, the loofah falling is out of your control. The speaker falling is out of your control. The way
Those are
people
trivial
talk
things.
to you, I know, but I get what you're saying, because it took me years to apply this. I mean, you're talking 3 years ago when I learned this lesson, and it took me a long time. I still have
we're
reactions,
all learning.
But you're 100% right. There is a space in between there. And I actually think that space is much longer than people realize. You can live in
that space.
You can sit there for a while and think about it. And I was actually just talking to my little brother about this, because I think he's at an age right now where he's getting he'll get like agitated very easily, you know. And I was talking to him and telling him, like, the way you react in response to things that agitate you do nothing to help you in this situation. You're just getting upset, and then it ruins the next 5 minutes, which ruins the next 10 minutes, which ruins the rest of your day, right? Or like this person, we actually we're in Barcelona and someone says something disrespectful to him, and it bothered him for hours. And I was like, you're never gonna see this person again. They don't know you're giving them way too much control, and you're gonna go to sleep tonight and you'll forget about this guy. So why ruin the rest of the time here traveling with your family? Instead, focus on what you can control, which is how you react to this thing. Yeah. Right?
And I'll be the guy in the comments now that always says easier said than done. But it's true. It is easier said than done. But that's why, again, we go back to being.
Yeah.
If you can, every single minute of every single day, you are choosing who you are being. Yeah. So if you can just make a commitment with yourself, and this goes back to, we talked a lot about commitment today. If you can go back to committing yourself internally, you commit yourself with yourself. Yeah. To always be the person who's going to think 2 steps ahead. Yeah. Then when those moments comes, and if you're a man of your word, you're going to honor that. You're going to remember that commitment, and then you will choose to honor it. Yeah. And as a result, you will think 2 steps ahead. And I love the example, because like you said yourself as well, it doesn't mean that we can't make slip ups. We're human. It's a mountain with no top. It's never ending. It's never. You and I could spend the next 10 years working on ourselves, working specifically on this 2 steps ahead game and space, and we still have so much to work on.
Perfection is such a frustrating thing. It's like the most commonly spoken about concept, and I still don't know if people
really
accept that. Like, you'll never be perfect. It took me long. I'm still learning it. I mean, you call me out on it all the time. I'm way too hard on myself. I expect immediate results all the time, and it's because I still expect perfection out of myself. But I think that's been one of the biggest lessons.